listen me! Manny!
Oh, I'm burning! I'm burning!
Give him hell, boys!
It's only gonna get worse, mate.
Do not all die at once.
Doctor, it's getting cold. You heard her. Run while you still
Welcome to the industry of death, medic. I know you are new here, but just know that you're in for a bumpy ride by being here. You're free to take yourself to Marvel Rivals or Overwatch if you need to.
There is so much blood, viscera, screaming, degradation of the human body. Why must we be the ones to suffer, while the other ones get to keep their arms and legs intact? This isn't fair. They only ragdoll, while we can be reduced to ashes and blown away by the wind without a trace.
I shouldn't be the one to remind you that this is a battlefield, not a playground. You should expect to find blood and such scattered throughout your man-made wasteland. In the land of Team Fortress, you may meet your end to the sharp edge of a sword, a bullet, the explosive power of brimstone, or worse, disintegration. The result of having concentrated energy tear at every atom in your body as you feel every second of your physical self leave this world without a trace. A game has done a good job at showing you your punishment for dying if you are left with the thought of your own mortality. How would you want to die? Personally, the most I would be willing to part with is an arm and a leg. I would like to retain my head without much disfigurement to my face. We take our bodies for granted. Others in the real world have not had that luxury. I once saw a can of crushed crab during my high school culinary class. My younger self took pity towards the crabs that made up the contents of the can as I had the thought. These things were once walking along the ocean floor before they ended up in there. Now, the fates of the crabs are unknown as they have been devoured and excreted. Would they be considered crabs? Or something else? Another objectifying quote that hammered in my mortality comes from Upton Sinclair's novel, The Jungle. And as for the other men who worked in tank rooms full of steam, and in some of which there were open vats near the level of the floor, their peculiar trouble was that they fell into the vats. And when they were fished out, there was never enough of them left to be worth exhibiting. Sometimes, they'd be overlooked for days, till all but the bones of them had been gone out to the world as Durham's pure leaf lard. Imagine knowing a fully grown adult that you got to learn their favorite foods, occupation, country of origin, or simply their name and face. Now, imagine finding out that their entire existence was for naught, as they had been reduced to nothing more than trash. Or in this case, lard. Fat! Someone to be used in cooking, and then digested through your intestines. Fortunately, that quote was just fiction. I had only now just found out at the age of 24.
Cops!
Though that brand of lard may not be real, the feeling I had of someone being reduced to nothing is still real to me. In Team Fortress 2, I do not like the thought of my demo man having a close casket and being left to die on the battlefield after losing a battle to a knight and his sword, or the idea of my beloved Misha becoming dissected by the classic sniper rifle as there is a mist of blood that clouds the air. You must come to the harsh reality that this is all part of a war. There is emotion to be had from all of this. However, with the sorrow, there is room for the fury. Did you get your ass blown out by a try-hard soldier? Then use what's left of your hands to strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger who attempt to poison you and destroy thy brothers. The enemy has made a mockery of your team. Are you gonna sit down and take it on the chin? No! Your reward for driving the enemy back is a glorious rain of their weak red flesh and an intoxicating song of their screams. The value of that try-hard soldier's hat won't mean much once you make him learn the true value of our flesh. It is worth the same as the dirt that we once came from. However, it seems to be that the games that we play today have forgotten the secret ingredient of making an engaging battle between teams. They have made a mockery of what it means to be in a war. I'm mainly talking about online player versus player games. In TF2, there is Red Team and Blue Team. In Dead by Daylight, there are the survivors and the killer. The killers are made up of horrible abominations and people. Hatchets, knives, swords, and the reverse bear trap are the tools of destruction for the killers. Let's see the carnage that these killers are capable of! What the beanie baby? I expected the Demogorgon to have a big old crunchy gumball. Not for him to just play for a head like a dog in a chew toy. Alright, whatever. What about Pyramid Head? I saw him strip and skin a lady like a stick of Jack Link's beef jerky in the Silent Hill movie when I was a kid. How does he handle his victim in the game? The model doesn't change? Just the same sound effects and the same blood particles? TF2 actually has more blood that paints the environment, unlike this animation. I'm only bringing up Overwatch and Marvel Rivals because they are the more popular PvP multiplayer games in recent times. And I know that the devs would never allow Squirrel Girl or Diva to get gibbed, or even consider the thought of giving Tracer an immolation animation during development. Imagine the fanfare of finally getting that May and seeing that floor get splattered with her chunky drippings.
Ha!
If you think I'm a little crazy and you don't have the same sentiment,
No!
then need I remind you that there's a video of Jeff the Shark getting curb stomped by the Hulk because of how annoying he was in the game, and that I got 128,000 likes on Twitter. So don't you tell me that I have a problem. Instead, we have ragdolls that get lost in the clutter of neon lights and explosions. Your opportunity of a glorious bloody dopamine hit is replaced by this sound effect and a body flopping to the floor.
Critical hit.
If you're lucky, then maybe the ragdoll will fly up in the air and give you a chuckle. If you are a little squeamish, then we don't need to see bodies explode or all that much blood to reward your eyes for your accomplishments. Battlefield 1 and 5 may have been released more than 7 years ago, and despite being released in the last generation of gaming, the state of gaming has evolved heavily since then. Really, Battle Passes did not start becoming a thing until 2018 because of Fortnite. Those two games have shown me that you don't need gibs or an explosion of red to celebrate your triumphs over the enemy. A well-crafted animation is more than enough to show the enemy that they are no more than a filleted salmon.
The fingers that have given me life are the same fingers that find pleasure in being the destroyer of worlds? You are sick! I'm a doctor, not a lunatic!
The red medic has more guts than you. He has been around longer than you. The craftsmanship of multiplayer games knew how to make you feel that you conquered the enemy, and how to make you feel what it means to be dominated. We need war. We need war to drive our desire to come out on top. And there's a reason why the word theater is a term in warfare. It's because we're putting on a show. If we are gonna die in the end, then we may as well put on a brutal show. Only the dead has seen the end of war. The natural order of all this conflict may be coated in mud and blood, but there's a silver lining to all of this. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Without the sacrifices we must make to time, our lives would have no value if our time here is infinite. Knowing that you, a video game character, possesses the same flaws and components that my human body does, it makes you all the more human to me. I don't want to see you die in the heart of combat, medic. All of these, Overwatch heroes, Marvel heroes, the finals contestants, Apex Legends, and Dead by Daylight survivors do not carry the same weight that you do. You are able to die. They are only able to be eliminated. The same applies to your friends. Do you want them to die? If they die, then the result of their failures will stain your face with their blood while boiling your own.
No.
Then the weight of their flesh is for us to carry. You have grown to adore and admire these characters over the course of 15 years. The thought of them growing old and dying in the heat of battle fills us with dread. The possibility of spilling blood makes each life a test of survival, rather than another quarter in the arcade. You would never feel the need to nurture and protect your team if they weren't able to cry and bleed.
Doctor, do not let us die in vain. You must be strong for rest of team.
Turn your fear of death into a love for life, medic.
Medic, we believe you.
Medic!
Doc, come on, man!
Medic! 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 Stay close to me! Medic! I am
This artist wants you to know about the voluntary subscription to the Blue Banner Patreon. The Patreon subscription and memberships poses as a way to adopt your very own puppet pal and customize them with hats. Throw the money my way, or return the favor to the like and subscribe button. Your support of this channel is of the utmost appreciated to me.